Hey guys, what is going on? We'll go back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be doing a mock showcase of Dagobah and Ahch-To Island. Both of these are redesigns or add-ons to the already existing LEGO Star Wars sets from 2018. I just felt that they could use, a little more detail, and I wanted to make them a little more movie accurate to what is seen on screen. So this is something I've been working on for a couple weeks, and I mainly designed it to be displayed with a 2-in-1 sort of setup, with Ahch-To elevated in the background and Dagobah visible from below. So as we make our way around here, we will start with Dagobah, and what I was going for was more of just a simple look of Luke and Yoda training just on the grounds of Dagobah in the swamp region. I used some of those dark black translucent colored tiles, and I think they worked really well as the swamp pieces. They were actually quite expensive for the amount that I bought, but they were useful nonetheless. And I also added a light brick in the hut. I kind of integrated it into a tree so that it was less jarring, to the eye, but it still kind of sticks out a little bit there. But everything else is pretty much the same in the hut. It still looks the same, still functions the same. So that's pretty nice. Again, there are those tiles, and I did kind of an overlap with them as well. And one thing that's nice is the hut can easily be lifted out of its setup. And this is good for, just transporting the MOC from one place to another and setting it up in its display scene, which I will show you at the very end of the video. So yeah, it sits in there. It's not really held on by anything. It just rests in there, which it does its job well. Here is the light brick that I implemented with the tree. Basically, it shines through a hole underneath the where the fireplace is, and it shines through on that translucent fire piece. But other than that, I just tried to keep the terrain as organic as possible, adding some foliage and leaves around the back. Over here we have the Luke training sequence where he's lifting the box, the cargo box from his X-Wing, and Yoda's watching him, and all that jazz. R2's in the background and everything. So yeah, overall it's a nice little MOC. Nothing too fancy, honestly. It does its job. I had a difficult time with the organic nature of the swamp. I think that's probably my most challenging aspect of MOC building, is trying to get that to make it look as organic as possible, and as natural as possible. Just because I'm used to building, defined shapes and such with like ships and everything. So it was definitely a different experience. And speaking of organic and natural in nature, we have the Ahch-To Island MOC, which I was quite happy with. This one, I didn't know how this one was going to turn out, but I was very pleased with the outcome. And it's basically Luke's hut on Ahch-To on a bunch of bricks, and yes, I did use filler bricks in the back just because they're not going to be visible. So I just figured, why not? It works. And basically it's just the hut on a mountain. I took out some of the parts of the actual hut and redesigned it a little bit. I took out the there was a spinning rock and everything. I took out that. But this is probably my favorite part of the MOC right here, the steps that lead up to the hut. I really, really love the way that turned out. I think it looks great. And those tiled 1x1 plates are perfect. They look like stones, and I think they really fit well with the MOC. And then, of course, there's the famous handoff where, yes, we all know how that ended, but we got a porg here and there, one next to the hut and one on a rock. And again, just the hut is pretty much the same. It's not much has changed. If you want to check out, some other people's reviews on that set, it's a pretty good set. I mainly just bought it for the figures, though. But now I've got a nice little display scene with with everything, and I think it looks pretty good. In here, I did add a little bit of an Easter egg. There is just like an egg and a fish, maybe porg's fish, I don't know, just something. So that's kind of nice. I did use some interesting techniques on this, and as I take it off here, you can see, again, this is not really mounted to the base plate or anything. It just kind of rests there, and that stone is like an indicator as to where I should set it up. So again, I think it works out pretty nice. But you can see all the foliage going down and around the sides of the mountain. I tried to be as organic as possible, but there are some areas where it's a little rough around the edges, literally and figuratively. But I was very pleased with most of it. Over here, I tried to add a little bit more foliage so it wasn't so bare on the outside, but again, I think it does its job. It looks pretty good on display, and that's really all I wanted from it. Eventually, I said I will show you how this is displayed in my setup, but overall, I'm very, very pleased with this one, especially as I wasn't super, I don't know, out of all the MOCs that I've done, this one was probably the least interesting to me. I was not super stoked to be trying to design this, and I think overall I was just really, really happy with how it turned out after a couple tries and renditions. So but this is the final rendition of the AhchTo Island MOC, and again, by itself, I think it even looks great. Both of them are very just basic building techniques. There's nothing too special going on here, but it does the job nonetheless. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this 2-in-1 MOC showcase. A little bit of a different video, but again, I just decided to do a 2-in-1 because of how it was displayed, and we will take a look at that right now so you can see how it fits in my cubby. And the way I wanted it was so you could see both of them, and I had to elevate AhchTo in the background there, but again, there it is with the rest of my stuff. I really, really love the way it turned out. So yeah, that's about it. As far as other MOC showcases in the future, I do have 1 or 2 more planned, and then I will have to get back to work and brainstorming on new things to come. So if you're interested and excited for that stuff in the future, definitely be sure to subscribe so you'll be up to date. Like the video if you enjoyed. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.